Hi guys.
Good afternoon, hi. First point to make is it's actually a beautiful day here on Teesside, despite my colleagues' coat, thermals and gloves. It's an ideal day for football. What sort of game are we going to see? Well, that's an entirely different question, and one that you can help me sort out, Craig, because Arsenal have made their best ever start to a Premier League season. Middlesbrough, their worst ever. Is there any mileage in going down the route of saying, look, it's the third of three difficult away games for Arsenal, maybe the factor of fatigue, Middlesbrough desperate for points? Can you construct an argument for Middlesbrough winning this game?
Well, I think not in what we've seen so far this season, you'd have to say. I think the one big problem for Middlesbrough is if you're not scoring goals and you're putting your defence under pressure, and I think that's the problem they've got. Mido's out for a while yet with a pelvic injury. Ali Adier's only got one goal. Tunchai got his first goal against Reading last week. So where are they going to create from? Downing, who will create in the left, is short of confidence. Les and the boys were mentioning that in the studio. Arsenal are depleted, in terms of their key players. They've lost a lot of goals, but they've still got quality in there. And I just think for Middlesbrough to get a result today, then Arsenal have to have an off day, and Middlesbrough have to put in one of their best performances of the season so far.
Well, let's have a look then at the two team boards just to see precisely who's involved. Middlesbrough's search for goals has led them to try 6 different strikers this season. Between them, they've managed just 5 goals. Today, the Turkish international Tunchai gets the chance to play just behind Jeremy Ali Adier, sold by Arsenal in the summer. Gary O'Neill returns after illness in place of Adam Johnson. And in goal, there's another outing for the club's third choice, Ross Turnbull. Schwarzer and Brad Jones both still injured. Julio Arca's recovery from a knee problem is significant to a team lacking invention. He is on the bench.
Well, as you said, a very young, inexperienced goalkeeper, and I felt in the 1-1 draw at Reading last week, he got himself positionally in the wrong position and was lobbed, so he's going to have to concentrate, especially with the, like say, Adebayor up front and the goals he's scoring at the moment. At the back, well, plenty of experience in Young and Woodgate. Wheater's quite young, Pogatet's has got experience, so they've got to give the young guy in the goal some sort of protection. Again, plenty of legs in midfield with O'Neill, especially Jos Boateng, who can get about the field, and Downing, short of confidence, he needs a big performance. Rockenbach is the one that can create for them. He doesn't really get about the pitch, but he can pass the ball. And as I said, the two guys up front are Tunchai just off. There's only 2 goals between them, so it's time for Middlesbrough to start banging in the goals. Is it going to be this afternoon?
Arsenal's options are limited. Fabregas, Flamini, Kleb, Van Persie and Abu Diaby all have a chance of being fit to face Chelsea next weekend, but they're sitting at home today. So, the same team that drew at Newcastle on Wednesday, which means that Eduardo keeps his place despite a less than effective display. The alternative was to play Theo Walcott, but he remains in reserve.
Well, I think when you look at this Arsenal side, and Gareth Southgate would have looked at it and his players, he would have said, OK, no Fabregas, no Flamini, Kleb, we know Van Persie's been out for a while, so we may just have a chance. But you've got to look at it and say, look at the way not only they're scoring goals, but they're defending. Sanya, solid. Torre, solid. Gallus, good partnership in. Almunia keeping Lehmann out. So, and Clichy getting forward with great pace. So, they are very solid in there. In front of them, Diarra, I thought, played well at Aston Villa last week. Gilberto comes in, so they haven't got the same attacking threat in there. Rosicki on the left. Eduardo, well, I think he's still got to convince. He has got 5 goals, but he's certainly no Kleb. From a neutral point of view, I think we wanted to see Kleb playing today. He's an absolute sterling form. And up front, well, Adebayor just scored another wonderful goal in midweek at Newcastle.
So Middlesbrough need to be at their very, very best, and they need to show plenty of both those qualities. It's what they've done in the past against leading sides here, and it's worked for them. Plenty of younger supporters in a crowd expected to be between 24 and 25,000 in number. They've yet to sell out the Riverside. It's been a difficult season. They've only won here once in the Premier League and only twice overall. And their lack of goals has really cost them so far. But there is enthusiasm amongst the younger brethren. It's a bright sunny day on Teesside. And the sort of day, the sort of playing surface that will appeal to those involved. The guest editor of the match programme today is David Wheater. Arsenal will be aware that he's made giant strides this season, but he has a massive task on today in looking after Adebayor and Eduardo in support of him. Not too many Arsenal supporters here, just over 2,000 though. And Arsenal preparing to defend what is now the last remaining unbeaten record in the Premier League. As you can see, plenty of empty seats at this stage. There's always a last-minute rush here. Many spectators still in the bars. And the food outlets beneath the stands. And in the narrow tunnel, Middlesbrough the first to appear. Arsenal have a habit of holding back. In fact, quite often the fourth official, or indeed the match referee, has to go hammering on the Arsenal dressing room door. And Arsene Wenger often still then holds his players back for another few seconds. The Arsenal dressing room actually on the right as we look at that shot. So the Arsenal players will have to come out in the middle of the Middlesbrough line to take their place in the tunnel. George Boateng is the skipper for Middlesbrough today. This familiar tactic of Arsenal's, keeping the opposition waiting. But here they come, William Gallas, now installed as the club and team captain. Match referee Howard Webb. The Riverside, one of Arsenal's favourite venues, and Middlesbrough, their absolute favourite opposition. Arsenal's two biggest Premier League wins have also been Middlesbrough's two worst Premier League defeats. 6-1 thumping here, 7-0 the season before last on their final visit to Highbury. Just a final check of the studs of the two sets of players, and then Howard Webb will be ready to lead them out. Match official who is familiar to Arsenal, took charge of them in the League Cup final last season, and 3 times already this, including 2 of their biggest games against Liverpool and Manchester United. His second visit of the season to the Riverside. So here they come, Sunday lunchtime on Teesside, and a stadium where the tall trees of the Premier League have frequently been felled in the past. It's stretching the imagination to think Arsenal may falter here, but recent history suggests it could happen. Manchester United and Chelsea hope so. Kickoff is next.
Two previous meetings between Arsene Wenger and Gareth Southgate both ended 1-1. So where is your money today? Let's go over to our commentators, Craig Burley and John Champion.
Well, there is a case for saying that this is a more evenly matched game than it at first appears. Given the circumstances, Arsenal have been on their travels. Middlesbrough now with a desperation for some points prior to Christmas. And Tunçay, a popular inclusion amongst the supporters. National hero back home in Turkey, yet to produce that form for his new club. Howard Webb, the man in charge. A season of little cheer so far for Middlesbrough. All they want for Christmas is a goal scorer. Arsenal on the point of getting some major gunners back. This their third away game in little over a week. Villa and Newcastle have dug in against them. Will fatigue be a factor? Gareth Southgate says we have nothing to fear from this game, and indeed in some senses nothing to lose, because it's not the sort of fixture that neutrals will expect Middlesbrough to get anything from, but they just might. Confirmation of the teams, couple of changes for Middlesbrough. Gary O'Neill back, he was suffering from a virus last week, and Tunçay in place of the Korean Lee Dong-gook. Arsenal are unchanged, same side that drew at Newcastle in the week.
Yeah, they had a stiff test up at Newcastle. Took the lead very early, I think it was 4 minutes. Wonderful goal from Adebayor. The Newcastle side under pressure. Give a performance for the manager, worked really hard, and that's what Middlesbrough have to do this afternoon. Exactly what Newcastle are, up the tempo, make challenges, get in the face of Arsenal. Said many times, if you sit off good players, see walking back, just diving in, if you sit off good players and allow them to play, then that's exactly what they'll do, and they'll hurt you. That's what Gareth Southgate would have been saying, John, to his players before they went out. It's a home game, guys, you know, we need to lift this crowd.
Challenged by Wheater on Adebayor, making his mark early. This is Boateng. Pogatetz. Now Rockenbach. Stuart Downing. And Gary O'Neill has made the burst forward. Two waiting. Downing to cross. And Tunchai almost there. And then O'Neill couldn't get the shot away. Maybe Rockenbach will. Offside up against Tunchai. And Arsenal get on with it. The quick distribution to Rosicky. Early seeds of promise, though, for the home side. Gilberto. It's a little leaden-footed at Newcastle in midweek. Certainly a contrast with the fleet-of-foot Flamini and Fabregas, who would normally occupy those roles in the centre of the Arsenal midfield. O'Neill. Ali Adier. Toure coming across. Almunia rather stranded. And Howard Webb says penalty. And it's the former Arsenal striker who's won it.
Well, he showed great pace, Ali Adier, getting in there. And I think he gets the first touch in this ball. He does. He gets there first. And there's no doubt he's touched. Toure getting in, sticks the right leg out, takes him down. Howard Webb straight to the spot he pointed. What a start this could be for Middlesbrough. A perfect opportunity.
And to take the penalty, a boyhood Tottenham fan. From the Pallister Park estate in Middlesbrough, Stuart Downing. Middlesbrough lead! And we talked about it before. It's not impossible. It could happen.
Well, we talked about Stuart Downing's confidence. Well, that'll do his confidence the world. That'll lift the side, that'll lift the crowd. But I tell you what, the keeper should save it. It's not a great penalty, they get away with it. And there's a reaction from a manager who, well, has got to be under pressure because of results. In the dressing room, saying to the players, we have to start this game well. Well, they have, they've been bright. And I have to say, Ali Adier's pace was good getting in. The referee pointed straight to the spot.
Eboué to Rosicky. And if there is any fatigue, any weariness in those Arsenal limbs, same side effectively has had to play all three of the away games in this week because of injuries, and this will really test them. Sanya. Goalkeeper comes and spills under pressure from Adebayor. Referee says foul. Free kick Middlesbrough. Maybe Gareth Southgate is right. They have nothing to fear. Arsene Wenger held back a little in training before this game because he felt that the players had had so much match action of late. Tunchai. Ali Adier causing problems for Gallas this time. Tunchai! Block was by Gallas.
I get myself in all sorts of problems at the back at the moment. You know, I spoke about them in the team news. Toure and Gallas very solid. Well, they haven't started that way.
Eduardo. Let's face it, before we get carried away with Middlesbrough's prospects, it's worth saying that Arsenal have come from behind so often this season and so successfully. They've gained 11 points from losing positions. Adebayor. Dispossessed by Boateng. Middlesbrough are everywhere. Can they do that for 90 minutes? Downing. Diarra. Again presented back to the opposition, Luke Young. O'Neill. Ali Adier. If he's ever going to be up for a game, it's surely this one. And he proved it with his part in winning the penalty. Oh, now the referee forced to adjudicate as Pogatetz goes down.
Well, he raised his arm. Eboué, you can just see when he swats him in the face. That's got to be a yellow card, surely. I mean, look at Howard Webb. He's just gone past it. right arm, okay, he's holding him. I know he's holding him, it's a free kick, let the referee deal with it.
We'll also point out that Liam Miller did something not dissimilar yesterday for Sunderland at Chelsea and got a red for it.
Well, Michael Essien did it at Derby as well in the game we covered on Kenny Miller and was sent off. You can't raise your hands, and Howard Webb there did nothing. Stupid from Abuy.
Downing for Rockenbach. Pogatetz. Wheater. Free kick Arsenal. Well done like that. Middlesbrough leading through Stuart Downing's first ever penalty kick. Rosicki. Adebayor. Clichy. Would get there first. Diarra was tripped by Rockenbach.
Distraction. Goes down quite easily, Diarra, but he was just clipped. What you mentioned before about Middlesbrough having to keep the pace up for 90 minutes. Can they do it? Well, I mean, they're going to have to. They're going to have to work right to the end of this game, because you look at this Arsenal side, you switch off for 1 second, and they're going to punish you with the players they've got. But it's been the perfect start for Middlesbrough. The manager couldn't have asked for any more. And this is the first piece of defending really they're having to do.
Now is Toure planning to have a lash from there?
Yes.
Boateng has been standing behind Toure and Abuy, getting their view. Now joins the wall. The wall rather too mobile for the referee's liking. Abuy for Toure, and Rockenbach was approximately a yard away from him, and now Middlesbrough have a free kick. So Howard Webb called upon to give a penalty inside 4 minutes. First Premier League penalty conceded by Arsenal this season.
Well, I thought he did really well to get in. Ali Adair, keeper comes out, Toure's in there as well, plays nothing of the ball and just clips him. And at that pace, it's just enough to send you down. I think the referee was spot on. It's not a great penalty, but it was effective. The keeper should have did better because he guessed the right way on Munir, but it went under his body. And that's history now for Arsenal. 1 down, got to get back in this game. And the Middlesbrough side, I have to say that I've started very brightly.
Well, talking to Gareth Southgate before the game, he went to Newcastle on Wednesday night and was really impressed with the way that Sam Allardyce's team set about their task and set about Arsenal. And you'll have seen the second half display of Aston Villa last weekend as well, when they discomforted the league leaders. And clearly, he's instructed his players to follow suit. Gilberto. A little bit of space for Adebayor. Rita twice intervening. Rosicki. Now Clichy. Adebayor. Up to O'Neill. Push in the back there by Gallas on Ali Adair. So Woodgate to take. Gallas' header down as far as O'Neill. Gallas has stayed down. And Howard Webb is calling for attention for Arsenal skipper.
Well, Well, he does get put under a bit of pressure as this ball comes in. His Pogatet's there, just jumps straight into him. Sandwich between two players as he tries to deal with it. Takes a knock. As a centre half, you're going to have to expect those knocks.
Well, there were all sorts of ructions from the French authorities when Arsene Wenger spirited Jeremy Aliadière away from the Clairefontaine Academy at the age of 16. It's the sort of deal that Michel Platini, the UEFA president, has been objecting to. Aliadière never quite made it with the Gunners. Here's Eduardo. Young across to face it. Goal kick.
Well, he hasn't quite hit the heights, Eduardo, so far for Arsenal. Not had many chances, to be fair to him. It looked pretty much as if it was a corner kick. One thing I have noticed, any balls up to Adebayor at the moment, you've either got Wheater or Woodgate getting really tight to them. Can't afford to give him any space, certainly not in his form.
Gallas, Wheater. That was a scything challenge involving Boateng and Gilberto is astonished that it's a Middlesbrough free kick.
Well, he dives in. You can just see he plays absolutely none of the ball. I don't know why he's astonished. It's a free kick, simple as that.
Those reactions, often not a good guide to reality. Aliadière has adopted a position right on the far side of the penalty area, hoping to arrive unnoticed. It's towards him. Touré's header, followed by Aboue's clearance. Now Pogatet's. And then a ricochet as Touré cleared against the shins of Aliadière. Young. Aliadière. O'Neill. That's neat, away from Gilberto. Cross is less impressive.
Yeah, just a pretty empty cross, a good bit of skill. They don't look their normal assured self, Arsenal at the moment. Again, just a hoof clearance away. Usually a bit more composed.
Rosicki. Adebayor. Diarra. Finding Aboué. Adebayor for Sagna this time. Diarra. And O'Neill wins it. Aliadière. O'Neill through the middle. Tunchai arriving. Stuart Downing. Rocking back.
Well, that numbers over. And applauded from the manager, from the crowd. Good play in the break. Plenty of time and space from here. He's not under pressure. He just gets it all wrong. Looks off the pace, Gilberto, to me. I have to say it. Not the same mobility in that Arsenal midfield. You look at it, normally Flamini, very good player, Fabregas. You've got Gilberto and Diarra in there. And you mentioned it, John, a little bit earlier. Looks a bit heavy-legged.
Gilberto is the wrong side of 30 now, which usually spells the exit door if you're playing for Arsene Wenger. Germans charged down by Ali Adia. This is Tunchai. Downing. O'Neill will retrieve. Not out of play. Darren Can, the referee's assistant, right there. O'Neill. Ali Adia was waiting for that. Flicked away off the head of Toure.
You know, looking at Arsenal this season, I don't think I've seen them make so many mistakes early on, giving the ball away, making poor decisions, putting themselves under pressure. And that's what's happened so far. The Middlesbrough so far have taken advantage, have put them under pressure, they've taken the lead.
First corner for Middlesbrough, taken by Downing. Rosicki, taken down by Gary O'Neill. He's been a good acquisition by Gareth Southgate. He's really impressed since joining from Portsmouth back in August. Toure.
Well, you look at the game yesterday, we showed live Reading-Liverpool. I think everybody thought, well, foregone conclusion, wrong. And you just wonder today, in the position Middlesbrough are in and the way Arsenal are playing, you know, and where were the goals going to come from? But, well, there's a long time to go in this match. It's been the perfect start for them.
Rosicki. Eduardo. Ruto with cover for Middlesbrough.
They're not on the same wavelength, one pair at the moment. Eduardo Adebayor, big striker, had pulled off to the back post.
Gilberto. Sagna. Here's Aboué. Rosicki. Aboué couldn't get the return. Here's Rockenbach. Boateng. Young. O'Neill. Invites Boateng forward. Gallas had a yard start. Young. Gallas away only as far as George Boateng. Tunchai. It's good movement from Middlesbrough. It's O'Neill. It's Almunia. And now it'll be Rosicki. Adebayor. Look at Middlesbrough fighting to win it back. And the crowd are warming to this. There have been thin pickings on this ground for Middlesbrough fans all season long. Ali Adia, now Tunchai. Gary O'Neill. Tunchai, Ali Adia, nearly. Aboué. Eduardo. And no, your eyes are not deceive you. That was Fabio Rockenbach making another tackle. Eduardo again. Gilberto. Middlesbrough need huge amounts of energy and concentration if they're going to continue in this vein. Rosicki. Sagna. Sorted out by Pogatetz. Rockenbach slips. Rosicki!
Well, just unfortunate, rocking back. He just slipped at a vital moment. But they get enough pressure there, running about the ball from a tight angle. And didn't really trouble the goalkeeper.
Steve McManaman in our studio. What have you made of it so far?
I think it's been a great start from Middlesbrough. Exactly what we expected from them. Gareth must be, filled to bits. You can see Arsenal. They've upset Arsenal. Arsenal haven't got into the rhythm at all yet. And if anything, you just want Middlesbrough to carry on. It's whether they can sustain it for the whole 90 minutes.
It's the big question. And Almunia getting involved in a needless set-2 with Tunchai.
Yeah, I think the one thing about it is if Arsenal turned up here this afternoon thinking they're going to play the game at their pace, then they've been very much mistaken. And they've looked ragged, Arsenal, so far. As Steve said, they haven't really got in their rhythm, they haven't got that passing going. I don't think the link between midfield and striker, with Hleb normally in there, and he's picked the pockets of many teams this season, Hleb. Been a great player for them. Eduardo, in what I've seen so far in this season, he doesn't look in the same class.
Except when he's playing against England, Craig.
Well, I didn't quite see that one, John.
Boateng for the willing O'Neill. Gallas for Arsenal. And the error forced by O'Neill.
Yeah, it's good pressure. You do feel Middlesbrough, with this decent start in the match, need a second goal. Because at some point, this Arsenal side are going to collect, they are going to create something.
Ali Adier, Tunchai. Middlesbrough's players enhancing their reputations rather than hiding behind them. Downing. Ali Adier. Downing's cross. O'Neill.
Well, they didn't have much option. O'Neill, I think all they do is he's just trying to feed this back in for Ali Adier. He's not trying to score there. He's just trying to head it back into an area. Quite get it right.
Downing. Ali Adier had straight offside. Downing has to go alone. And the long leg of Toure helps Arsenal out. Rosicki. Well, that's rather cynical by O'Neill. That's going to be the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, that's a couple of free kicks O'Neill's gave away. I think you might see this one as a good one to give away. Okay, he's taking a yellow card. You can see the frustration of the Arsenal manager because little chance of a break there. O'Neill just takes a booking for the team.
He joined us late. Middlesbrough ahead through a 4th-minute penalty, scored by Stuart Downing.
Every time that ball goes into midfield, rocking back, who is a bit of a playmaker, but he's getting in there, he's making challenges. Boateng, O'Neill, Downing started the game pretty well.
An awful lot of long ball from Arsenal. Rocking back.
You took that little triangle out of any team, John. Flamini, Fabregas, Hleb just in front of them. Goals, movement, vision. It's going to be difficult to replace.
Well, they've covered the cracks at Villa and at Newcastle. Proving difficult here. Eboué. Good header by Orr on the heel. That's the way it's going for Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal have their first corner. And Gallas is a late arrival for this. Woodgate has noted it. Gilberto beaten in the air by O'Neill. Gael Clichy. Woodgate. And hard on the heels of Arsenal's first corner, their second. Earlier sunshine has disappeared. Overcast skies now. Rosicki, and Gilberto beaten once more aerially. Well, how about that for a round of applause in respect of Middlesbrough's efforts? Our next live game from the Barclays Premier League is on Saturday. Fulham against Newcastle from Craven Cottage. Coverage starts at 4. And then a week today, live SPL football with Inverness Cali Thistle hosting Celtic, and that's from 1. Arsenal have trailed for 83 minutes at Fulham. Their exasperated manager has seen them behind for 50 minutes at Spurs, for 9 at Villa. They've won all 3 of those games. Here's Adebayor. And Young being urged to clear. Toure. Woodgate. There'll be a couple of Premier League managers in particular who'll have hurried their Sunday lunch to watch this with a keen and involved interest. Alec Ferguson and Avram Grant prime among them. It's a foul by Woodgate.
Yeah, Rosicki just gets a run on him, just gets his body in front of him coming in here. And you can see he just tugs him back. Best position of the match for Arsenal here.
Well, they've had one free kick from this sort of distance, which was lashed into the wall, or the breaking wall, by Toure.
I think it was maybe about 5 or 6 yards further out. This is a much better position for them. You just see the referee making sure they're back the 10.
Adebayor and Eduardo guarding the ball. It is Toure. Once more the wall in the right place. Adebayor. Gilberto. Sagna. Toure. No options. See him plaintively saying, who do I give it to? He's found Adebayor now. Toure guided behind by Young. The referee spotted a collision there. Instead of a corner, it's going to be a free kick for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, did well defensively here. Young. Little ball from Adebayor. I have to say, I felt that was a corner. A little bit soft, giving a free kick against Toure there. But they've created very little, Arsenal. You know, just gone half an hour. If you look back at their games this season, in the first 30 minutes in most of them, they've created a lot more than this. Is it down to Middlesbrough? Is it down to tiredness? I think you've got to give Borough credit at the moment, the way they've set up, the way they're performing.
Too strong by Sanya for Diarra. Opportunity for Tunchai. Downing. 4 Middlesbrough players in the box. He's given this game a lot of thought this week, Gareth Southgate. It's preoccupied him. Tunchai, Aliadier had a swing. And then Rockenbach. And Aliadier is staying down.
Well, they've caused him quite a few problems when he balls into the box. OK, this is a really difficult chance. It's on the up. He's under pressure.
Well, bearing in mind Middlesbrough struggle to find fit and effective strikers, the last thing they need is for Aliadier to be stricken. Just the one shot on target, 3.5 minutes in from the penalty spot. Not bad for a first career penalty by Stuart Downing. Lee Dong-gook would be an obvious replacement. Bottom of the left shin down towards the ankle that's causing the difficulty. Chris Mosley, the Middlesbrough physio.
Well, he started the game pretty well. He's had a good 33 minutes up there. Tunchai just playing off him, so he's on his own against Torre and Gallas.
There's Malcolm Crosby, trusted lieutenant of Gareth Southgate. This is how the injury happened.
Didn't look too much in it. I think he just catches him. I think he'll be all right.
Well, they want to be all right. So he's having a landmark day so far. Rosicki, Adebayor. As well that Woodgate got his head to it. Sanya. Went down. Seemed at first a little belatedly, but the referee was convinced.
Well, I don't think he's quite sure where he's going here, Sanya. 3 players round him. Well, he just clips him. It's going nowhere, really.
Webb's had a little word with Rockenbach. He's been guilty of a few fouls in that area of the pitch. Aliadier is back on, looking to build on a record of 2 Premier League goals in 40 games.
I don't think Middlesbrough were too disappointed to give these free kicks away. OK, as long as they can defend them, but it just breaks the game up. It doesn't let Arsenal get in the stride.
Away, there's Adebayor! He can be quite majestic in the air, as he showed at Villa last week.
Well, he doesn't athlete well. I know he's a big lad, big tall, but he's up against Woodgate here, big centre-half, and just look at the height he gets there. And even from a ball with not much pace in it, as you said, John, he's one at Villa last week that just looked in, he got great power on it, and there he always manages to generate a good bit of pace in the ball, even one that doesn't come in with a lot of speed on it.
Clichy. Adebayor. Eboué begins a run.
One of the things I'm looking at the moment is Clichy, who I think is one of the best attacking fullbacks in the Premier League. How many crosses he put in? What, 1? He's been up there once so far, and I think that tells a story. You know, he's normally up and down that wing, you know, all day, and he's hardly been over the halfway line.
Well, recent history tells us that once or twice in every season, a top 4 club comes here, is expected to win, but leaves defeated. Last season it was Chelsea, the season before it was Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal, all beaten here. Here's Rockenbach. Free kick, this is within range for Middlesbrough.
There's a free kick, no doubt about it. He just gets clipped here. You can see, first of all, it was Diarra, and it was Gilberto.
Rockenbach having one of those days where he's decided he's going to try and dictate the game rather than just adorn it. The options are the right foot of Rockenbach, the Brazilian, or the local boy with his left, Stuart Downing. Referee supervising the 10 yards, the 9.15 metres, and it's Downing. Good handling by Almunia.
It's never in any danger of going in. Quite enough pace on it.
Woodgate looking much more like an England centre-back today. Luke Young. Off the head of Gallas. Tunchai to Ali Adier. Tunchai. Fortuitous. Downing waiting. Almunia gathering.
No, he should have pulled it back. Played the wrong ball, John.
Crowd enjoyed that from Wheater. He's been a revelation this season. Good ball, Tunchai. And still Tunchai. And the shot ends up closer to the corner flag.
Oh, I just panicked. When he gets in here, Tunchai. Now, Ali Adier, okay, they get a bit of luck, it takes a deflection, but he continues his run. Now, you just look, just out here, shot on the left-hand side. Ali Adier had carried on. And here, Clichy just gets himself in the right mess in terms of his positioning. He's right out. Now it's one-on-one, he gets at him. He works it well in terms of half a yard, and then he just panics.
Tigerishly won by Tunchai. Downing. Stumble by Sanya. Gallas slices behind.
Well, I tell you, John, I think this is as good a performance as not only the Middlesbrough manager, but the Middlesbrough crowd could have expected in this first 39-40 minutes. You know, they've made Arsenal make mistakes, they've not allowed them time, and they've played some decent stuff themselves.
Downing to take. Pogatetz wouldn't come down a second time for him.
No, it just wouldn't sit for him. Good ball in. Look, a threat from set pieces as well.
Rosicki. But there is this omnipresent threat from Arsenal. And Rockenbach is now sailing really close to the wind.
Well, he's certainly getting involved this afternoon. I think many would say it just shows a good bit of strength here. The referee didn't see it that way as Adebayor fell to the ground. But once again, they break the play up. You know, they stop Arsenal getting any tempo. And so far, you know, any type of balls in that we're going to see at the moment, you know, Woodgate, Wheater have defended them pretty well.
A lecture here from referee Webb for Emmanuel Pogatetz. He and Adebayor having something of a disagreement. Everywhere. Pogatetz galloped forward from left back. Rockenbach. Dictated play in his time for Barcelona and Sporting Lisbon, but remains an enigmatic figure. Middlesbrough, third from bottom of the Barclays Premier League, ahead against the leaders. And a team who've been playing some celestial football this season.
Well, the lad spoke about Stuart Downing in the studio earlier, his confidence. And he's a pretty good first half. He scored the penalty. You know, he's been positive, he's put a couple of decent balls in the box. He's looked to take on Sanya at every opportunity and use his pace. In general, I think that's typified for his performance. They've looked to get bodies forward. You know, they've not been cautious so far. It's been very positive from them, which is far from what you can say about Arsenal.
Wheater. Ali Adier. Eduardo. This is Clichy. That was out of play. Goal kick.
Should have put in first time. Try to be a little bit too clever, taking it on. I think now's the time just to go for it and whip it in. It's very tight. Look, Young making the challenge and he just runs it out.
He's the man that Middlesbrough would love to be able to field. Mido, but he's injured and will be for the best part of 2 months.
I think looking at Arsenal, John, Eduardo at the moment not getting in the game. I think they maybe be better off putting Rosicky in there, as a playmaker, and maybe bringing on Walcott for his pace in wide positions. I'd be interested to see if he's going to change it at half-time, Wenger.
O'Neill. Clichy. Ali Adier got a foot and then a head to it. Gallas. Toure. Offside against Adebayor. Signal by Mike Malarkey, who was in charge of our Blue Square Premier game at Kidderminster the other night.
You just see how animated Arsene Wenger was. You just see in his face. He knows it's been a tough week for them. And we've mentioned before December what kind of month it's going to be with all the games. And it's just shown in their performance so far.
It's the third of 9 matches this month for Arsenal. Diarra. Adebayor offside again.
Yeah, he had strayed off. Linesman waited a little while before he put his flag up. A sense of frustration from the big striker. And you can just see he's giving himself a yard before the ball's even struck when he's got no need to do so.
Ali Adier. Tunchai. Ali Adier. Clichy got the better of him that time. Boateng. Speedily won by Rosicky. This is Adebayor. Sanya. Rosicky. And Middlesbrough have been swarming all over and all around Arsenal for 45 minutes. Eboué. Sanya. And still no way through for Sanya, and it's only a goal kick.
Well, there've been a lot of challenges for in this first half. They've just not given them any time or space to play those nice little intricate 1-2s that we know they like to work. You just wonder to yourself, are Arsenal going to change it at the break? What's Arsene Wenger going to say? I don't think I've seen a less productive first 45 than this from Arsenal this season. I think the question is, can Middlesbrough keep up this good tempo as well, John? They've played well, they've created 1 or 2 good chances, they've got bodies forward, they've defended when they've had to, but it hasn't been too often. It's been a pretty comfortable first half for Borough, one that will delight their manager. He'll be the first to know there's a lot of work to be done.
Arsenal have been knocked out of their silky stride. Stuart Downing's penalty separates the teams. Middlesbrough's best 45 minutes of the season, Arsenal's worst. The goal 3.5 minutes in, Ali Adier, sold by Wenger in the summer, brought down by Touré. Webb said penalty, Downing said thank you. Celebrations right around the riverside from a crowd of in excess of 26,000 who have scarcely been able to believe the commitment and passion they've seen from their previously struggling team. Plenty to talk about in this one. Middlesbrough 1, Arsenal 0.
It's just who's in the relegation zone. Well, Borough undoubtedly the better side here at the Riverside and well worth their lead. The thoughts of Macca and Les are next.
Sponsored by Bet365. Setanta Sack is packed full of footy this Christmas. Our festivities kick off on the 23rd, with Man U Everton followed by Aberdeen Rangers. See who's stuffed on Boxing Day between Exeter and Torquay. The 29th's got the best leftovers possible. Hibs against Rangers and Everton Arsenal. Who will be celebrating on New Year's Day between Histon and Cambridge? And you know the season of goodwill's over when the old firm go head-to-head. Christmas on Setanta Sports. Enjoy the show.
Shopping mall, things that are small, pops, big and tall. Where's Chinese food? There's Chinese food. Spicy chicken wing, chicken almond ding. Ding dong. Traffic's a mess, there's no distress. Find a new way with no delay. Bluetooth is on, call the salon. Need a waxing now, got a unibrow. Give a Garmin. Give a Garmin. Screen clear and wide, whole world inside.
He's the type of man that does things on the cheap. He gave his girlfriend a watch that he found in the street. He buys knockoff DVDs, he downloads knockoff films. He scrounges his drinks, what a grubby little man. He's a knockoff Nigel, he's a knockoff Nigel. He's a knockoff Nigel, he's a knockoff Nigel. Knockoff Nigel buys knockoff DVDs.
Sipping on an iron brew. My chilly snowman mate says he would like some too. I tell him get your own. He looks like he is going to cry. I tell him once again the iron brew is mine. Through the air, I wonder where I'm going to land. He nicked my iron brew and let go of my hand.
Brilliant play. Oh, how has he done that? Oh, it's a great goal. And that is spectacular from Ronaldinho.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Sponsored by Bet365.
Catch all the goals from the weekend on the Midnight Goals Show. Starts at midnight, of course, tonight on Setanta Sports 1 and on Setanta Sports News. And if you want to know where to find that, you'll find it if you're a digital satellite viewer on 435, or if you're a Virgin Media customer, it's on channel 518. Middlesbrough good for their lead, 1-0 at half-time here at the Riverside against the leaders of the Barclays Premier League, Arsenal. They've done everything right, haven't they,
Brilliant.
Borough?
They've been excellent, and a lot of credit goes to the players and Gareth Southgate. The game plan has worked, you know, right up until half-time, and Arsenal have been very ineffective, really, resorting to just hitting 50-yard balls to Adebayor, which is something that we don't normally see of Arsenal.
You told them the way to play? They're playing that way.
I mean, he's done his homework. You know, in his interview, Gareth Southgate said they're buoyed by how they saw Arsenal play against Newcastle, and they've come out and done exactly the same thing. They've got in their faces, did exactly what we talked about, not giving them a minute of time on the ball, and got their just desserts. Really.
And gone one better than Newcastle because they've taken the lead.
Yeah, yeah, great ball here from Gary O'Neill, and I mean, it was a penalty that shouldn't have been given. You don't know why Torre made the challenge.
No need
the
for him to be
goalkeeper's
there,
come running out.
Yeah.
Ali Dier is running towards the corner flag, as in he's running away from the goal. So very, very avoidable.
Yeah, an unnecessary challenge, and Almunia nearly made it. Yeah.
And I've been impressed with Ali Dier, because we said at the start I didn't think he'd be able to bully Gallas and Toure at the back, but what he has done, he's been stretching them the whole time. He's been willing to run in behind them, and you know, Middlesbrough have been playing long balls, and what that's done is while he's making the runs, it's giving them opportunities to get the ball and play themselves in the middle of the park, and I've been really impressed with the way they've gone about their work.
And as you say, they've closed Arsenal down at every opportunity they could.
Oh, they've been brilliant, harrying them, getting in the faces all the time. You know, this is a great example. Just working hard, and you see Ali Dier and Tuncay up front. They've started closing down, defending from there.
And then playing decent football and actually pushing it around a bit.
And we said if they was going to get anything out of this game, that's how they had to play against Arsenal, and they're doing it perfectly.
And you see here, I think, how they miss Fabregas and Kleb. You've got Diarra and Gilberto, and they're the same type of player. You see, they're very static. Normally, Kleb is 10 yards further forwards, offering another pass. And they seem, Diarra and Gilberto seem very static at the moment, seem quite slow.
And Toure, as we just saw there, just lumping it away, which is very unusual for Arsenal. They've done it again and given it away there.
And that's credit Middlesbrough, the way they've gone about their work today. They're forcing Arsenal to play that way. It's not because they want to, they're forcing them to play that way. And they're reaping the benefits, because every second ball they're getting to as well.
Now, is Emmanuel Eboué lucky to still be on the pitch?
Well, I think the fact that the referee was in a slightly... I don't know whether he saw it completely, but I think Liam Miller got a red card for that yesterday, and as soon as you raise your hands, you know, he slapped him, a good slap in the face.
I think the angle you see the referee coming after the incident means he's on the wrong side of it.
That was Liam Miller yesterday, right in front of the referee, and it's at two hands, and he's pushed him right in his face. So
I think if the referee sees Eboué do that, he sends him off, because that is a slap to the face.
OK, well, Borough have worked hard for their lead at half-time. Full of industry here at the Riverside, and they are 1-0 up and worthy leaders. Second half is next.
Sponsored by Bet365. Next Sunday, live on Setanta Sports, the high-flying Hoops head for the Highlands.
He's done it!
But Craig Brewster's Cali are on the up.
Brilliant!
Inverness Cali Thistle v Celtic, next Sunday at 1, Setanta Sports 1.
On DVD now.
Go, 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 go! Oh my God. That's alien. That ain't friendly.
From director Michael Bay and executive producer Steven Spielberg. Now on DVD. Everything changes. Transformers. Own it on DVD now.
Please!
bouncy hole. Make good your escape to the festive menu at McDonald's. The big cheese and bacon, the festive chicken wrap, cheese melt dippers, the festive pie, and Terry's chocolate orange McFlurry.
Oh, I can't think what to give Cinderella for Christmas.
Oh, yes, you can.
But I want to give Cinderella something special.
Use eBay, dear.
eBay, but...
Now, just tell eBay all the things that you know Cinderella loves best.
Oh, well, anything yellow, obviously. But really, there's nothing she likes more than 60s retro stuff. Oh, perfect.
Jack, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else.
At Magners, we know the most valuable thing you can spend is time. Magners Irish Cider. Time. Dedicated to you this Christmas.
In the race for value, choose Citroën. This month, get the spacious 5-door C3 from just $6,995. The stylish C4 that's alive with technology from just $9,995. Or the versatile new C4 Picasso. With 4 years 0% APR typical finance available on selected models. Text robot to 84118.
At Threshers, buy any 2 bottles of wine or champagne and we'll drop in a third for free.
To you, love me.
Welcome to Lovejoy and Redknapp's Best of Football DVD. That is a great goal.
I knew you'd like that one. Genius. Look, how do you miss? Look at him there.
Unbelievable football moments.
Absolutely brilliant. I've never heard of him, have you?
No, we are.
Now then.
Lovejoy and Redknapp's Best of Football. The only football DVD you need this Christmas.
When Cinderella sees her Christmas present, she's gonna flip!
Oh, did you get her some hair straighteners?
No, I went on eBay and I got it so right.
Jack, love.
I told eBay all the things I know she loves.
Jack!
And eureka! I found something so her. It's a...
Jack!
What?
She's behind you.
Oh. Go on.
Oh. Good. Just watching this. Good lad. Hey, good boy. In a bit, in a bit. Good lad. Go on then. Come on then. Come on. Come on. Oh, unlucky.
eBay. Bid and browse for free when you're out and about. Fresh on 3.
The 2 giants of Dutch football come face to face for the big one next Sunday. Ajax versus PSV. A serious top-of-the-table clash next Sunday at 11:25 on Setanta. Sponsored by Bet365.
More live boxing coming your way here on Setanta Sports 1 next Saturday at 8:15 for the WBO Super Featherweight title of the world. It's Alex Arthur against Steve Foster. That's next Saturday at 8:15. Arsenal made a change at half-time. Bentner is going to be on for Eduardo. Explain the rationale behind that, Macca.
Well, they need to score. I was surprised that, well, I can see Theo Walcott being introduced very early as well if it stays the same. I think they need to inject a little bit more pace, especially into the midfield. As I said, the midfield 2, I think, the 2 sitting defensive centre midfielders are very static for me.
And play a bit more football.
Yeah, I think up front, because they've gone for the long ball option up to Adebayo all the time, I think Woodgate has done really good. The back 4 have done really good against Arsenal, and I think he just feels like he needs a bit more presence up there, a bit more strength, and I think Bentner will give Arsenal that up front.
OK, thanks, guys. Let's get back to Craig and John.
Well, apparently Middlesbrough are Arsenal's favourite opponents in the Premier League. They've enjoyed more Premier League wins against the Borough than against any other team and scored more goals. 7 occasions in the Premier League they've scored 4 or more against Middlesbrough, but it's not looking so likely today. There's Bentner in place of Eduardo, so let's see whether that makes a major difference for Arsenal.
Well, what Arsenal we're going to see in this half. I'm really surprised at the lacklustre performance. Can Borough keep the pace up? Can Arsenal create something they've been doing all season? Something that was sorely lacking in that first 45.
Well, here is Gilberto. And now Touré, who was suckered into making the challenge on Ali Adier for that early penalty. Woodgate rising, offside flag raised against Adebayor.
Just going back to what Steve said, you know, we spoke about the 2 central midfielders, the lack of mobility in there. You know, he's gone with the 2 up now, with Bentner and Adebayor. You know, he's got the pacey Walcott on the bench, who he could bring on. He could put him wide. He could stick Brzezicki in one. He can play central. It gives him more of an attacking option in there. If it stays as it is, I don't think it'll be too long before Arsene Wenger thinks about it. He's made 1 change already. He was frustrated in the first half, animated on the bench. A big game for them.
Woodgate. And once more. And there's Aboué. So will the half-time message in the Middlesbrough dressing room have just been more of the same?
Oh, we'll have a bit more of that, lads, I think, what Gareth would have been saying. Be difficult, though.
Here's Clichy. And Boateng. And finally, Rockenbach.
I mean, I might be wrong, John, but I just can't see Arsenal creating as little in this half as they did in the first. I just think there's going to be a period in the game where Middlesbrough will get a little bit tired. You know, Arsenal will find a little bit of space and they'll create something. Whether they take it or not, you know, remains to be seen.
That's telegraphed by Bentner. Downing couldn't exact full advantage. Eboué. Ali Adier. Tunchai making his way forward. So's O'Neill, who's well found. Rockenbach, not brought his shooting boots with him today. Boateng. For a throw. Tunchai. Clichy. Cooper alongside Gareth Southgate there. Diarra. Wheater guides it to safety. Colin Cooper that said that David Wheater could well be Middlesbrough's new Gary Pallister. Touré. Rockenbach. Through for Tunchai, onside! Will Middlesbrough live to regret that moment?
Oh, he may rue that. He may well rue that because he times his run perfectly here. You can see The pass is perfect, the timing's perfect. He's well onside. The keeper stands up pretty well, but the goal is there gaping for him. And Middlesbrough may not get another chance as good as this in this match. I said in the first half, I do feel they will need a second goal. And it's not long after half-time. You know, once again, the gaps are there in that Arsenal defence. And Rockenbach, who's had a fine match up to now, picked him out beautifully.
Tunchai. No way through the middle for Ali Adier. The reason being that he was illegally blocked. And a yellow card for Kolo Touré.
Well, there's no need to do this, Touré, because he's not getting there in a million years. And it doesn't look as if he does too much wrong, but, you know, he just puts his body in the way. And he could have left him. I mean, there was no need to do it.
Just a hint of a smile on Ali Adier's face. And little wonder. 8 years he spent as an Arsenal player. Today, actually, with all their injuries, was the sort of occasion on which he might have got a chance, albeit off the bench, had he stayed. Shapes as if to take the referee's not ready yet with the wall. It's going to be Fabio Rockenbach. Lukia. She late in O'Neill.
That was well late. You can quite clearly see. I mean, it's not malicious. He just leaves a boot in there. And the referee gets the old yellow card out for him. And I think that was a sign of frustration from Clichy. But once again, you know, Middlesbrough have started sharp.
Downing. Kovatet's up. Sanya out. And finally it was Clichy. Returned with interest by Downing. Wheater! That was travelling, it hit Touré. Quite possibly bang on target too. And here comes Wheater again, like a one-man demolition crew.
Well, get the bit between their teeth. What a shot this was, it just drops to him, big centre half. And that is travelling, and to be fair to Touré, he just gets his body in the way. And well, that's an excellent challenge. And he just has a bit of Sanya for good measure.
Did you say Lasagna?
Well, it started the same way, John, isn't it? Middlesbrough, you know, sharp. Getting to the ball first, look half a yard sharper than Arsenal. A bit between their teeth, they can sense, as I said, that they're possibly going to need that second goal just to take the pressure off them. What they're doing here, Middlesbrough, they've got 3 players at the edge, they're coming in late.
Rockenbach. Young. Too strong. Casualty. Stuart Downing.
Just a studs. It's just on his side, on the hip. Little follow through.
Naughty or not?
Well, I think he could see him, and I think he left the boot in there. I think it was one of those ones that it's hard for the referee to distinguish, but yeah, I think he leaves the right boot in the boot. And when you think about it in the first half as well, you know, he's pushed somebody, slapped somebody in the face, got away with it. You know, and I just think the type of challenges we're seeing from Arsenal is a sign that this match is not going their way. There's a frustration. You can see it in the manager on the bench, and you can certainly see it in the players on the pitch.
Just about everything has gone Arsenal's way this season. They've played some stellar football. They have by and large been fantastic to watch, but deprived of key playmakers. They are really struggling here. And last season a pattern developed, led by Blackburn, as to how best to challenge Arsenal, to discomfort them. And it's almost as if a similar template has been developed this season. First in the second half by Villa, carried on by Newcastle, and now the baton taken up by Middlesbrough. Closing down, pressurising, harrying, swarming around the opponents, depriving Arsenal of a platform on which to strut their stuff. Gilberto. If Adebayor controlled that, he might well have been in.
I think he's saying Woodgate to get a touch. It's a difficult ball for him to take. Yep. Nicks off his head, Woodgate. That's what Adebayor was saying. Get away with it, Middlesbrough. In terms of the two midfield boys, Arsenal, Diarra and Gilberto, they've had nothing from them going forward, really. They've been beaten to every second ball in there as well, and they've not been creative. We know they're not as creative as Fabregas and Flamini. Not showing up so far.
Welcome back. It's penalised. Sanya. Boué. Another stray pass. Tunchai is brought down. And Arsenal are getting really frustrated with the referee. I think, in fact, they're frustrated with themselves more than anything else.
Well, it's not to do with the referee. They're just making silly challenges. It's breaking down for them. The passing's not working.
Toure. This time a foul by George Boateng. And Rockenbach has said something out of turn, and he gets the yellow card, which is a costly one, his 5th of the season. And Rockenbach will be suspended for what arguably is an even more important game for Middlesbrough at Derby next week.
Well, I just think if you're Theo Walcott, John sitting on the bench, you've got to be thinking, you know, it's not working. You know, it's got to be a game to come on and, you know, allow the young lad to show what he can do and use his pace.
Well, he's being called by Pat Rice. And you can hear what the Arsenal supporters think about that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You may see Danielson as well. Ali Adier. I don't think I've ever seen Ali Adier contribute as much to a game as he has today.
He's worked hard. He looks like a guy who's got a point to prove.
Rockenbach. Boateng. O'Neill. There's good constructive football by Middlesbrough. Luke Young. Ali Adier. Downing. Stuck across when it mattered. Vic Akers, the trusty kit man, manager of the Arsenal ladies team, overseeing the readiness of the potential substitutes. It's going to be Danielson and it'll be Walcott. Downing. Sanya. Pogatetz. Tonchai, Ali Adier. Left by O'Neill. Boateng! That would have been fantastic.
Well, once again, they cut Arsenal open. I mean, it's football that we're normally seeing from this Arsenal side. We're seeing it from Middlesbrough, not panicking, stretching them, getting wide, getting the ball into feet, getting midfielders forward, and getting strikes at goal.
So after Boateng's salvo, the double change by Arsenal. Danielson for Diarra, the first change, and Eboué is going to be replaced by Theo Walcott. The 18-year-old coming on, still seeking his first Premier League goal after 1,030 minutes on the pitch. Bentner. Arsene Wenger, with those two changes, has really emphasised that redemption today is in the hands of his younger gunners. It's going to stay in, and Ross Turnbull has come out to deal with it. Really been tested, Ross Turnbull. And if Middlesbrough can keep this up for another half hour, then Gareth Southgate will enjoy his finest moment in his still short managerial career. Win for Borough would lift them, for the time being, 4 places in the Barclays Premier League. But also enliven the hopes of Manchester United and Chelsea at the business end. Rosicki. This is Clichy. Woodgate, outstanding change of direction. And here's O'Neill. Middlesbrough twice in this second half, going close to getting a second. First with the effort across the face, and then Boateng from distance. Ali Adier. Corner. And gradually, with big experienced players like Pogatet's coming back, Gareth Southgate being able to field a more representative team. Wheater beaten by Gallas. Tonchai. Young. Now Bentner for Arsenal. Toure. Regained by O'Neill. Tonchai. And again Tonchai. Offside, Ali Adier. Rain beginning to fall more steadily over the riverside now. Bentner. Rosicki. Sagna. Touch from Adebayor. Gilberto. Danielson. Rosicki. Clichy. Crowd want him closed down. And Young clears. Bentner. The last unbeaten record remaining in the Premier League under serious threat here. Gilberto to Rosicki. This is nicer. It's Bentner. Trying to wrap his instep around it. Well, gripping entertainment here. And 2 more live games next weekend. On Saturday, Fulham against Newcastle from the Barclays Premier League. And then on Sunday, SPL football, Inverness Cali Thistle versus Celtic.
I'm just thinking, John, 25 minutes to go. What a tonic this could be for Borough for the rest of the season. You've mentioned they've got players coming back. I think if he looks at his players today and their performance, they've set a standard so far in the way they've walked and the way they've played really as well.
Rosicki. Adebayor. Cross goes Wheater. Rosicki. And under pressure can only guide it straight to the keeper. Well, 1 or 2 more signs of danger from Arsenal. There are bound to be, particularly after the changes that Wenger has made. Middlesbrough's problem is finding this second goal. Certainly there are plans to try and do some business in the January transfer window, and it's business that will involve strikers. There are massive funds to play with for Gareth Southgate. They'll have to lose 1 or 2 players to get some room for manoeuvre. Downing. Toure. Gilberto, comfortable for Turnbull.
Well, every time there's been an Arsenal player in possession, there's been at least 1 or 2 Borough players round them, putting them under pressure, not giving them time. Any balls into the box so far, Wheater or Woodgate have dealt with very well. They've played all their cards, Arsenal. He's laid them on the table, Arsene Wenger.
Concerned that Pogatetz is taking rather too long. Crowd has been quiet at times, but not now.
Well, I think they have to be pleased with what they've seen so far, and I really do.
Delighted, I would have thought.
Yeah, straight from the first whistle. You know, they've got at Arsenal. And there's still plenty of work to be done. So in this match, you know, it hasn't looked likely so far that Arsenal are going to carve them open, but you just never know.
Bentner. Walcott. And Woodgate. Sanya, that was late. And it was Rockenbach, who is carrying a yellow.
Well, it was a bit silly. When you just look at the area it's in. And if we get a good delivery in here, it could be problems for Borough, but they have defended very well this afternoon. They've dealt with everything Arsenal have thrown in so far.
Well, Gallas has become something of an adventurer. He loves to come up for these set pieces. Scored a couple of telling goals this season already. Woodgate trying to marshal Borough. Clichy. Hard to overstate the importance of this game for Middlesbrough, and the importance for them at least of hanging on to this slender lead. "11 games without a win. 1 clean sheet in that time. Their last victory on the 1st of September. Those are the bare facts. And Robert Hoot getting ready to come on. Woodgate up. Bentner for Adebayor. Walcott's outside him. Tester for the goalkeeper. He's enjoying himself, and so are Borough.
Yeah, he did well there, under a little bit of pressure. He's had very little to do, to be fair. But he thought when he woke up this morning he was going to be in for a busy afternoon, the young lad. His defence have marshalled well at times when they've been under a little bit of pressure. It hasn't been that often, as we see Gareth Southgate about to make a substitution. And Robert Huth about to come on. A big strong lad. But Woodgate and Wheater at the back, whenever Arsenal have put them under pressure, you know, they've been excellent so far.
Robert Hoot just back from ankle trouble. Toure. Adebayor wants it. Instead it's for Bentner. It's tidied up by Pogatetz. Sunchai. Rockenbach. There's the willing Boateng. Clichy. Adebayor.
Well, I think that sums Arsenal up so far with that. I don't know what it was from Adebayor there. Normally when they get into that type of position, they usually get a little bit of quality at the end of it. Something they haven't had so far.
O'Neill. In behind, Ali Adier. Wins a corner.
Well, he's had a fine afternoon, he really has. I mean, he's led the line well, he's run the channels, he's held it up, he's been strong. You know, he won his side the penalty early on. He's been a constant thorn for against two excellent centre-halves as well. And Toure and Gallas.
Well, Jonathan Woodgate's game is done. He's been colossal at the back. That's every inch what he is, a very classy defender. But he's replaced by a player who's won 17 caps for Germany, and Robert Hoot. Downing. O'Neill! Good save! Tunchai! That's it! It should be a winning lead now. And Arsenal's invincibility with a very serious question mark over it now.
Well, I said they would probably need the second goal, and make no bones about it. They have deserved it on this performance. Almunia makes a good save, but Tunchai, who should have scored earlier when it was 1-1, finishes it. Okay, it gets a little bit of luck with the deflection it takes into the roof of the net, but I think Middlesbrough deserved that little bit of luck on their performance this afternoon. Who can deny them a couple of goals?
Tunchai has run all the way to Gareth Southgate to give him a big hug in the technical area. Sunshine with goals in back-to-back games for the Borough now. And the man who once scored a Champions League hat-trick for Fenerbahce against Manchester United may have finished Arsenal off here.
Well, Gareth Southgate said about Tunchai when he scored his first goal for the club away at Reading last week that earned him a point. You could see in his face and his reaction what it meant to him. You know, he wants to win the fans over. Well, there's a guy that I don't think can believe the way his team have played this afternoon, Arsene Wenger. Who would have thought when they turned up here they were going to play so poorly and face a Borough side out of form that have hit form today at a really vital time? And John, I don't think you can argue there's 2 goals between these sides. I think it could probably be more for them.
They've followed the prescription. O'Neill. Awkward for Sanya, and Downing was lurking right behind him.
Once again, it's the ball. I think they've struggled all afternoon with balls into the box. I don't think they've defended them pretty well. Arsenal, for most of this season, not only have they been good going forward, but defensively they've been solid. And they've just been troubled.
Troubled, distracted, worried, bothered, bewildered. And possibly beaten for the first time in the Premier League this season. First time since the 7th of April. Having said all of that, if any team is capable of coming back, it's this team. Adebayor.
Once again, two players round them. You know, Borough every time swarming round them.
Tunchai. Foot race with Toure. Have to time that properly because he's got a booking against his name. But it was perfectly timed.
Yeah, good challenge. The crowd are warming to this performance.
This could be a seminal day in Middlesbrough's season. Stuart Downing. No way beyond Sanya this time.
If you're showing me a list of games where they're going to lose, John, this wouldn't have been one of them. You know, this wouldn't have been top of it, but nowhere near top of the list. It's been a great performance.
But with depleted ranks, maybe one away game, one tough away game too far in a short space of time for Arsenal. We'll see. Really well timed by Pogatetz. And Walcott's berating the referee, but the ball was cleanly won. Rosicki. Walcott. Adebayor. Here comes Theo Walcott. He's forced wide by Wheater. Bentner. And no chances taken by Turnbull.
Oh, I thought Walcott was going to go down here. Now this is the type of 1-2s we're come to be accustomed with Arsenal. When Wheater dived in, I thought he was going down. And he did well, just digs it out to the back post. And the keeper just doesn't get any chances and touches it over. Maybe a strike from Walcott first time would have been, you know, the ideal opportunity.
Goal for Arsenal now, and Middlesbrough, given their season, will be very nervy. Out goes Bentner. Beyond him. And echoes in this performance of the win over Chelsea last season and the victories over Arsenal, in particular Manchester United 2 seasons ago here, when Middlesbrough raised their collective game to previously unseen levels.
You can't just raise a game when the big guys come to town. You've got to be doing it week in, week out. That's what Southgate will be saying to his players.
Danielson. Gilberto. Now Rosicki. Walcott. Good cover from Downing. As a Spurs fan, he'll be loving this. Never mind his allegiances to Middlesbrough, and Malcolm Crosby and Colin Cooper. Brains Trust down there with Gareth Southgate, plotting how to defend this lead. Toure. So 1-0. Well deserved, but a slender lead, but now it's 2 and it's more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great strike from the edge of the box, and I think Tunchai's deserved this little bit of luck when it takes a deflection and it loops into the roof of the net. And just look at that reaction, because he knows that that second goal is just taking that little bit of pressure off them. And I'm not surprised at this here, Ali Adair, with a bit of cramp, it seems, because the amount of work that lad's put in, it may even be a bit worse than that, actually.
Well, he's shown some of his true ability today. When he was at the Clairefontaine Academy in France as a teenager, the head coach, Claude Dussault, rated him alongside Henry and Anelka as one of the 3 best modern strikers to be produced by the French. Which seems a laughable claim when you look at his record, but today he's exhibited a glimpse or two of the talent that Wenger saw in him all those years ago. And Julio Arca, once he's taken off his builder's hat, looks like he may be ready to join us. He's another important player coming back. He had some creativity to the Middlesbrough midfield. The thought seems to be that Ali Adair will come off. Here he is. O'Neill. Ali Adair. Tunchai and Downing inside the penalty area. William Gallas trying to sort out matters at the back for Arsenal. Sunchai came from an onside position. Short pulling by the Turk on the Frenchman. So enter Julio Arca. And this will be music to the ears of Jeremy Aliadière.
I'm just listening to that reception.
Man from Rambouillet with the Cockney accent, who has helped to down the Gunners. And an equally loud cheer for the return of Julio Arca, who's been missing for the last 8 games. And boy, they have missed him.
Now 5 in midfield, Sunchai up front on his own. You can see the game out. Middlesbrough.
Caught by Rosicki.
What's impressed me about them, John, is, you know, they've always had people around the ball. You know, they've just not allowed Arsenal to settle at any time in this match. You know, they've won their headers, they've won their tackles. You know, they've played with a good tempo. They have a good bit of width in their game as well. And Neil's been disciplined in the right, Downing in the left. And Sunchai's link up with Aliadière has been, I think, it's been the key for them.
O'Neill. Okay. Of course, if they do hold this lead and convert it into a much-needed victory, what Gareth Southgate will be saying to his players is, look, next week's game against bottom of the table Derby at Pride Park is twice as important because they are companions in distress. Let's get this one out of the way first, though. Boateng. Steve McLaren used to say then that he does the job of 2 men. Today he has. Here's Luke Young. Arca wants it. Short on fitness, full on enthusiasm. Offside against Downing. Adebayor. Pogatetz. Downing for Arca. Downing once again. Arca. We've seen Bolton beat Manchester United yesterday. Reading defeating Liverpool, but I would suggest to you that given Middlesbrough's start to the season and given Arsenal's form, this would be the biggest shock in the Premier League so far this season. Arsenal have scored in every Premier League game before today. Middlesbrough have struggled to muster a goal all season. Rosicki. Gallas. Lost his footing. Lost the chance to continue the attack. Nielsen for Sanya. Clichy. Back goes Luke Young. Inviting Tunchai to chase. Gallas there first. Tunchai now runs back to try and challenge Toure. That typifies Middlesbrough's display today. Nothing has been too much trouble, nothing has been too much work. Arsenal have been seen as a challenge, not an unsurmountable hurdle. Parker, back from O'Neill. Keeping the ball is what Middlesbrough have to do. O'Neill to Pogatetz. And a back heel for Pogatetz. Nearly.
No, he's unlucky there. Marauding forward, the left back.
Bentner, early for Adebayor. That shuts him down.
Well, I thought he was offside there, but the referee's assistant was nowhere near up the play. Yep, he's a yard off. You can see the linesman's not in line. Poor touch in the end.
Having played the same number of games, there will be just a solitary point between Arsenal and second-place Manchester United. And Adam Johnson is coming on for the final 3 or 4 minutes for Middlesbrough. Tunchai is actually asked to come off. Whether he gets his wish remains to be seen. Toure. Hung up for Adebayor. Loses out to Hoot. Bentner. Hoot again in the way. Walcott. And behind off Pogatetz for a corner kick. And Middlesbrough don't want to make the change as they defend this. Sanya. Goalkeeper staying at home. Danielson. Gilberto. Rosicki. And the sharpest blade in the Premier League has been well and truly blunted today. Tunchai tries to find the energy.
Oh, he's out of his feet. He's a spent force. The work he's got through it. Tunchai.
Gilberto. Adebayor. It seems that once a season, every season, a giant is felled here. And today seems to be Middlesbrough's day. Rosicki. Danielson. Clichy. Toure. And Wheater didn't allow it to get as far as the goalkeeper, who was hesitating a little. It's not a time for chances to be taken by Middlesbrough. Or is it really the time for fancy flicks like that by Arca? Rosicki. Toure's lost it. This is Boateng. Arca, and Gareth Southgate is as close to a pitch as he's been since he retired as a player. He's spent most of the last hour and a half right on the edge of his technical area, living every single moment.
No, he's not moved from there. He's been out bellowing instructions.
Well, it's a day for Middlesbrough heroes, and here's one of the biggest, Tunchai. A breakthrough day for the Turk. They call him Braveheart back at home. When I read that, I thought something had been lost in the translation, but we've seen why today.
I think looking at it from Arsenal's point of view, John, Diarra and Gilberto started this match in the middle of the park are absolutely nowhere near a match for Fabregas and Flamini. And without their real key playmaker, Hleb, you know, we haven't seen the best of Adebayor. You know, every picture tells a story. It's just not been their day. They should have no qualms about this result. And I think he's given up on the fact that this game's beyond them now, Arsene Wenger.
And I wonder, does the fact that Aston Villa gave them a going over for half a game, Newcastle for the best part of 90 minutes, does that help Middlesbrough's cause today? It's how the fixtures have fallen. Arsenal always knew it would be tough, 3 consecutive away games. Here's O'Neill, there's Toure.
Well, you can cite tiredness, of course you can, but I mean, they just haven't passed it today. You know, they could have popped it round. They normally get other teams working and chasing the ball. Well, you know, Middlesbrough have been the team that have passed it better this afternoon, created better chances, got a couple of goals. It could have been more for them. And the young lad in goal for Middlesbrough, well, he hasn't exactly been busy.
Well, he had a save to make, and Boateng plays it to Downing, who's offside.
To be fair to George Boateng as well, he has been all over the place. Both himself and Rockin back in there. You know, worked really hard. They've been a great shield for Woodgate and Wheater, and that's allowed the 2 boys up front to go and do the business.
Rosetsky. Booth away. And here's Arca. And now it's Downing. Now how ambitious are Middlesbrough at this late stage? Gary O'Neill, not very, judging by his body language. And the slow down to almost a standstill. Why endanger what they have? Johnson. Just back from a successful loan spell at Watford. That wasn't so successful, and there is a minute to play. On the brink of his greatest managerial triumph so far, Gareth Southgate. That's offside. And it just wastes a few more seconds for Middlesbrough.
Well, I'd never have believed when I turned up this morning, you know, what kind of performance we're going to get from Arsenal. It's so disjointed. It's just not been like them at all. We need to get the key players back. Middlesbrough